Good morning, traders, and welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we're going to go through the order flow in any of the markets that we can connect to. So let me know if you want something specific that you want to look at. We can do that and go through the order flow within Bookmap, how you use this tool to gain deeper insights to offer you an edge. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look here. We'll start off with the S&P E-mini and see what's going on in here. All right, so we can see the cash open here, move to the downside, move right back to the upside. The data that I'm showing in here is we see kind of a slightly bullish activity here with the open, but it's nothing really grandiose and much to speak of here. So let's take a look at the bigger picture. Good morning, Alois. And we'll step back. We'll look at the candlestick chart here and what's going on in here. So as we had mentioned during last week, that this momentum move to the upside due to the fundamental data and also the order flow was there's a lot to talk about in there. And not just for the day, but holding for several days or a few days, looking for this continuation move in here. Now, that just wanted to present some of those ideas to you, and we talked about that yesterday. And ADR, ATR as well, starting to understand ranges and how much it might go. So, we weren't looking for on Friday here, for example. We're looking for it to go higher, but not much higher. It had already reached its kind of max during the webinar. We're not looking for a whole lot more. It might have come up into here, into these wicks in the swing. It looks like that's where it wants to go now, to be honest. We have yesterday, very small range, and today, look at this. Okay, so look at the daily candle here. If we can get up and retest these two wicks here, and we're going to look at the order flow in here, and we're going to look for a lot of buyers to try to break that area and then come back up into these wicks or these areas up here. Okay, so above 4,400 somewhere. So that's what we're going to take a look at here. Now we can see the island gap in here on the hourly in the middle, and the continuation in here. Right, so the slowdown yesterday, and then the now we're just kind of seeing if we can get more momentum in here for a move higher. And then we're looking at the 15-minute over here on the right, and we're getting our answer here on the 15-minute. Okay, this is good. It's good that it's testing up here. We haven't tested up here today in the cash session, and we're seeing a bit of resistance up here. Okay, so there's probably a lot of liquidity or maybe a lack of buyers. Let's take a look, right? Because we're looking for maybe a pullback and then an extension move back up. All right, so we'll just go through some scenarios in here and what's happening. All right, so now looking at Bookmap, we can see the get a little bit clearer understanding of what's happening here. So we broke the high here at 43.85, and we've come back down now and have retested kind of where we broke out from, not just here, but also here. And this little breakout, this is where the buyers came in, right? So this is what we want to read in here. Now, there's a lot of things to read in here rather quickly. We want to read the appetite of these aggressive buyers, which is the market buy orders or these big green dots in here. Okay, market sell are the red dots. And we want to look at the relative volume in here and compare these areas to see like who's really in control of this market and moving it. Then we also want to understand the other side of the trade, like look at this just massive wall of liquidity in here. Okay, from 87 on up to 89, 2 points worth of just, pretty solid liquidity in here. If we zoom in, we can see more details in here. It's especially at 88 and 89 and a quarter, the highest levels of liquidity here. Also, this one's not bad at 87. Okay, so anyway, we zoom out, you can see the color of the heat map changes, and it gives you that relative liquidity volume or understanding compared to other areas. Okay, and that's why it changes color. So we have a wall of liquidity up there. That's going to scare away buyers. All right, so we're seeing sellers come in now, and they're going to retest some of these areas back in the mean here. So the mean would actually be in our profile 76 down here, the most traded level. Okay, that'd be our point of control. But there's all sorts of little areas in here, and we want to understand that context and relationship in these swings. Like down here around 81.5, low volume node, and then do we see more sellers come in and try to reach it back down to 80 here? Okay, so this is the context that we want to read and understand. All right, let me get to any questions here. Good morning, everybody. What is this name on Bookmap? Oh, that's a third-party indicator. Okay, that's something we didn't create. Okay, so you can find that information. Go to I'm not sure who it is, I forget, but you can take a look on our marketplace. Go to bookmap.com, click on the more button, and then go to the marketplace and take a look in there. Okay, because yeah, we have many third-party educators who have created different things. Right. Okay, yeah, part of the TTW package. Thanks, Aloise. So that's what you can research and look up. All right, let's see, anything else? Good morning, slow down. Okay, is Rob in here today? Just there's some things I wanted to go over with you, Rob, and see him in actually today. Oh, there he is. All right, excellent, Rob. Okay, so guys, I want to share something with you, and this is we spoke about the flag pattern yesterday, and I really want to just like get to the boil it down. And what exactly is it? It is a momentum play. You're looking for strong impulse moves, buyers or sellers moving the market. That's what we want to identify. And there's other things to identify in there as well, but the pattern is, you can almost kind of forget the pattern. The idea, I want to focus today mostly on just momentum. Well, that's a part of the flag pattern, right? It's a part of like many of the continuation patterns. And that's what we want to identify in here. Okay, so Rob, I had suggested to you, like for your spreadsheets for the Bookmap Junior Academy, to just focus and identify strong moves. Okay, so let me show you what I mean in here. We'll go to the bookmap.com. Okay, click on the more button here, and then go to the Learning Center here. Okay, in the Learning Center, we have this new course in strategies and setups, and just click on that. And we just have one right now, which is a continuation pattern, and it is a flag pattern. I just there are many in here, as you guys can see. Everyone knows these, right? We all know what they are, etc. But they're all really the same thing, and we're looking for continuation of a move, of a strong move, and then some sort of like back and forth, and then another strong move. And we went through, this is the diagram in here, what it looks like. The what it looks like then in Bookmap, identifying that same diagram in Bookmap, and then the execution one, which is the most important video here. It's how to execute and what to look for in a checklist here. Now, that checklist it's also here. If you go to the resources, you can click on the flag pattern checklist here, and you can bring this up. And this will go through that checklist. If you see these things, consolidation area, identify trap traders and develop scenarios. Did you do that? Check it, right? Go through the checklist, and then you can start to weigh your entry. Do I have justification for an entry in here? And then you're looking for a second impulse move, and then you're starting to look for your target and your exits in here. All right, so now why I want to cover this, and again, I've been using Rob as the poster boy in here to identify and keep it simple. Identify the momentum and the strong move. That's what's key here. Because then we can look for the continuation, right? So look at this one here, right? Pretty strong volume for this time frame, right? Here's our pullback in here. Are they bidding up? Yeah, they are. Okay, it's not that great. And then also this strong move in here. Well, it kind of already did a little flag pattern in here, right? Now, it might be a flag pattern within a flag pattern, but one of the elements that we want to look for in here is strong, consistent buy volume all the way through. Okay, it kind of exhausts it out up here. This isn't really what we're looking for. Okay, now this is a subtlety though, right? You know, I still think it's probably going to come up here and test the swing high, and complete the flag pattern, okay, which is like a strong move, a pullback, and another strong move, right? But you know, we're kind of looking at this and going, I don't know if I really want to. We're looking for it to unfold, but do you really want to risk your money on this in here? Is it worth it? Well, this is something you'll have to determine as you go through your checklist. Okay, for me, this is not as high probability. I don't want to see this just in the middle here. I want to see it up here. I want to see this top edge in here filled with buyers. I want to see the profile in here. I want to see it skewed. I want to see a big P-shaped profile in here. And then I'm looking for either more trap traders down here, high liquidity in here, maybe exhaustion by the sellers, and then I'm looking for these buyers to curl back into the trade and just hammer the offer. Okay, I'm looking for them to come in for the second impulse move. And this isn't really giving me that warm, fuzzy feeling in here. Okay, that's the understanding of this impulse move in here, right? And that's where I want to focus on today, is understanding these big, strong impulse moves, right? So now we've got a new tool, and I can share it with you, and I would also like to offer it to Bookmap Academy members. Okay, one of the things that you get as Academy members is access to pre-released add-ons. So I can do this now. I checked with the developers, and they're fine with it. Let me just double check and see if there was any more conversation about it. No, we're looking good. Okay, so it's a very, very simple add-on that we created here. It's super simple. It is called, right now at least, it's called Bookmap Checklist. Okay, so I've already got it up and running here. It's check marked, and you can see it here. Okay, so this is the you can import a CSV file as well, and import the checklist that I just showed you on that spreadsheet. Okay, this checklist here that I just showed you, well, I've got it here within Bookmap now. Okay, so I can kind of keep this on the side. I can start to go through and I can grade my pattern as well. Okay, so identifying these elements in here. Do I have, can I identify trap traders and develop scenarios off of those trap traders? Okay, so you can check mark it here and then give it a score, 1 through 10. Okay, how good does it look? Do I see a lot of trap sellers in this area in here? There's some. Okay, and and you know, they're feeling the squeeze here. Now maybe it's like I said, this isn't really the strong impulse move that we were looking for. Well, look at the retracement here. Retraced all the way back down to where this impulse move began, right? So we stayed away from it here because we can go through and start to identify these things in here. So in terms of the trap traders, there's not a whole lot. Okay, so we give it a lower score, maybe a 4 or a 5. And then we can go on to the next one here. And it's these two that I want to focus on today, Rob. And I think if you can get really good at identifying these, it will, I think it can only immensely help your trading. I really do. I firmly believe in it. So steep, large price moves, strong relative volume. Okay, this is a steep, strong move here. The relative volume is not bad, but we want to see it consistent all the way through. This is not what we want to see up here, right? So, you know, we can put a check mark in here. We looked at it and now we can grade it. I'd give it like maybe a 6, right? Something like that, 5 or 6, something like this. Measured moves, let's go over this one as well. Okay, a measured move and absorption by high liquidity. Okay, well, we looked at it, now we're going to grade it. Do we have it or do we not? Let's zoom in here. Not really. We have the high liquidity in here, right? Now this is an interesting move here. This is clearly going to be a stop run or a larger player in here sweeping the order book up into these areas here. In fact, let's turn on our stops, and there's our stop run right here. Okay, so we can see that. Let's turn on stops and icebergs. All right. Okay, and that was really the kind of the bulk of that move, right? And it just came up above these swings in here. And that's what we're starting to identify. So this strong move, okay, so we have kind of parts of the puzzle here, but it's not a really good one. Okay, so now, you know, we retraced all the way, and it's not surprising to see price come back up here. Okay, now what about this one in here? Yeah, looking pretty good. Pretty strong, consistent, looking for the move. Yeah, I'm not looking for a pullback at this point. I'm looking for buyers to just lift it right up into 89 right now. Okay, so now is it something I want to? It's too late for me to put money on this or to look at this in here as a potential setup. This is too much risk. It's too much risk. We want to identify it much earlier on, you know, it's kind of hard to splice into one of these in here, you know, but it's looking pretty good up here, and then you know, but we stayed away from it. Now look at our checklist again in here, and we can look right at it and see and understand that this would be our pullback here. Now look at the pullback. Okay, is it on low volume? No, it is not. There's high volume here. Is it minor? Yeah, it's about 50% of the move, and we want it to be less than that. So it's kind of okay, we would say. Is there liquidity bidding up in this area or below it here? Yes, there is. Okay, that's good. We've got that. Okay, so let's see now. Actually, this still, it's not really quite what we're looking for. But we're going to look at maybe a slightly different version of it. So the one thing that we don't like about this is the relative volume in here. Okay, this negates it. This is a deal breaker for me. Right? I'm still thinking we're going to trade up here. Right? But I don't want to think about it. I don't want to. I want to have something that is higher probability. I want it to be clean and clear. Right? So I will pass on this, right? I'm still looking for the order flow though to come up into this area here, to tell us to come up in this area in here. It's just not as good, right? So staying away from not so clean and clear setups is a good thing. Okay, wait for the market to come to your setup. You've studied it, you've back tested it, you have these elements that you're looking for in here, very clean, simple elements that you want to see in your setup, and you're looking for getting into the subtleties by grading them in here as well, right? So with that in mind, now you're waiting for the market to present itself. Think about it this way. If you go through this process and you have back tested this, basically you're just waiting for the market to come to you and present what it is you're looking for, because you know that you have an edge here, that it should work out, right? Because you've looked at many instances of it, and you've studied it, and you've found where if I go through this grading process, I can find something that gives me higher probability of it working out. And it's as simple as that. And you can just kind of stop right there. All right, so then basically, you know, you always hear traders talk about, oh, I'm a sniper. I'm you know, stalking this from this vantage point and waiting for my market. Well, this is the same thing. Okay? You're looking for and taking that one good shot, waiting for it. You know, you're not running around after your prey and trying to take a shot on the run. You're sitting, you're waiting, and you're waiting for that clean and clear shot, that higher probability shot. It's the same thing. Okay, and we're just going through a process to identify it in here. All right, so we'll anyway, I think enough said on the setup and what we're looking for in particular. Let's get back to reading these strong moves. Okay, so the strong, steep, large move, strong relative buy volume. Okay, so identifying these things, and we're going to do it on multiple time frames in here. So we still see the strong buying. All right, so buyers again here. Now they should be able to lift it now. They should be able to lift it up into 89. Okay, because look at the momentum in here. Look at the momentum in here. Now, again, is this really high probability? You know, it's I think it's higher than before based on some of these factors in here. But that we have this momentum here. We do have this strong volume in here, which was a deal breaker. But now we're seeing that strong volume again in here. Okay, so anyway, it's just there's a lot of buying pressure behind this. Okay, well, is it a steep move? Yes. Okay, is it strong in terms of volume? Yes. Okay, is there volume up in these areas up in here? Yes. Right. So are they bidding up underneath here? No, they're not. Right. So if sellers do come in, they can whip it right back down into 85.5 or even lower, and maybe even trap these buyers in here. Okay, so we don't want that, right? So we're looking for those buyers to tell us that, well, the sellers got it wrong, and this is actually a good example right here. Here's where you want to see your big green volume dot right here. Okay, so at this 87.25, and we just didn't get it right now. Okay? In fact, you see sellers here. Okay, so we're staying away, right? This could be a potential flag pattern in here. We don't have a lot of the other elements in here, but you know, we're again coming back and just trying to keep it simple here. We're looking for the strong moves. Now we're getting our buyers here, and I'm looking for them to continue to buy, okay, up into this liquidity here. Right, we have a lot of buying pressure, and they're still buying at the tops. Okay, now we're getting a bit more of a P-shaped profile in here. Okay, so if we get enough buyers in here, they should be able to lift the offer up into 89. Okay, and there's our move. There's our break. All right, so I hope that was somewhat clear. Just trying to simplify the process in here and what we're looking for. Okay, again, now this is a strong move as well. Okay, so they traded up into 89. 89 transacted 89 and a quarter, where there is the high liquidity, did not transact. All right, so just not enough buyers to trade it up into it. It was absorbed here at 89. Okay, well, let's see what happens after that. Okay, well, here come buyers again. Yeah, buyers should be able to take these guys on. No, right up here, not too much trading, and a bit of selling comes in. Yeah, I'm still looking for them to lift it up into, let's see if they can get into 90 here. Okay, and then maybe 92. There we go. There we go. There's 92. Okay. All right. So so now for me, this move is done. Okay, because look up here at 92. I see a lot of selling up in here. This is a strong move, but it's also capped up here with a lot of selling. Okay, so maybe some back and forth. Now, I'm not saying that the continuation move is finished. I'm just saying that this move, I think, is finished for now. All right, so maybe retest back down into 89 and a half or 89 and a quarter. Right, it's going to be a stop run. It is. You can see it here. Anyway, I hope what can I do to help clarify this in here, what we're looking for, and just identifying sticking with this. Okay, well, we identified this one immediately as the webinar began, and we noted that it's up in here that we didn't like it, so we're staying away. Anyway, it was a strong move, but not up here. Okay, strong relative volume, but not up here. Yeah, we're still looking for this to kind of define the next trading level, and it did. Okay, this is what you can start to take away from understanding strong moves in here. Okay, so take a look at this. Right in here is where that strong move began, up to here. That's the swing. You just pull that across. You can see all of this traded volume in here took place within that strong move. This is in control of the market at this time. It's pretty weak up here, though. All right, this is what we've been talking about for years, but now we're going to start to define it even closer with these strong moves. Okay, and then it's not surprising to find another strong move in here. Okay, now up in here, we went through it and we kind of stayed away from it. I thought we'd get it up into 89 at this point. Nope, we pulled back, hit this high liquidity here, and then this was pretty strong volume here on the sell side, so we stayed away from it. Okay, that's not the market we're looking for. It's not the setup we're looking for. But this move is pretty good. It's pretty strong. The relative volume is strong, and it's consistent all the way up. Okay, now we got up here, and then I started to like it up here a lot because I know that there's strong, consistent buy volume, and the selling in here. Well, we are above it at this point. Okay, so here we are above it, above that area, that means that anyone that sold in here can be fuel for the move higher. They will have to cover. Right, so we got some back and forth in here. We pulled back here. We get it again. I think maybe this is where I really liked it. I can't recall. I think it was here and here. And then still looking for that move to unfold. It just due to this momentum, and this momentum. Okay, so the momentum continues. Okay, there's still strong buying that's coming in here. Right, so in terms of that flag pattern, though, we shied away from some of these ideas in here. I think my point here that I wanted to get across is understanding momentum. It's not just the flag pattern, because we kind of stayed away from the flag. of strong move, pull back, and then strong move. Okay. Instead, we're just looking at and understanding momentum now. And understanding momentum can open up all sorts of other setups. And you could start taking those, start looking for these moves up into these areas here. Okay, it opens the door. It's something to study. It's something to understand. Okay, because this has actually turned out to be a really nice move. Okay, and 4,400 is the next step up here. Let's take a look at our bigger picture. Okay, this is something we had mentioned as well on the hourly, on the daily here. We saw that this was green still, so we're looking for a test up into this 91 or 92 area here, this swing up here on the from Friday. Now we're above it. Okay, so we want to identify again, are there still a lot of buyers to come in here? Okay, and then maybe we can get back up into the here, like 16 all the way up into about 28. Okay, 44.16, 44.28. Okay, now again, look at the momentum in here. This is really strong. No question about it. Look at the pullback so far. Okay, they're very shallow. Okay, 2 days worth of data here, and in fact, we're testing back up here right now. Right, so now we have the potential for that move to unfold here. This is the same pattern and same idea or momentum idea here, and we're looking for carrying it on up on a higher time frame for the daily chart. Okay, the same here. We identified this like this island gap, which is a very strong, powerful gap, and then look at our 15-minute chart. I think we were just in here when we started, and looking for we saw the test into here once, and then we're looking for it again, and then the potential to trade back up into these wicks. Now we've not only done that, we've cleared them up here. Okay, so now we're still looking for continuation. All right, so let's take a look in here. All right, so now it looks like it's just kind of turning into more of a grinding move in here, which can grind the rest of the day, in fact, and we can get a nice strong move for the rest of the day. Now this is where it can get kind of tricky with these grinding moves, right? Because all of a sudden sellers can come in, whip it right back down to here or here or here, right? Some of these other areas where these big transactions took place. Okay, however, we don't know. We're just going with the momentum in here. Okay, looking for it to come up to 98, looking for it to come up to the figure 4,400. Right, I don't see sellers yet. I see them bidding up underneath here, and we're still finding buyers. Okay, now we know we're going to get pullbacks, right? The thing is, like, how do you well, I guess maybe we should shy away from execution in here. It's a tricky one because on these kinds of grinding moves like this, it's like, you know, it's something you gotta back test and study, and I really haven't on these grinding moves. I just know that if I get in the grinding higher moves in here, that typically, you know, I'm just looking for a minor pullback. I'm looking for those buyers to start to curl back in, and then placing my stop. Okay, maybe taking some profit along the way, and then trying to get back in again. Okay, so I'm kind of adding to the position in here along the way. And yeah, I mean, there's one thing that you're not going to avoid in here on any of your trades, and that is risk. Okay, so these moves are going to happen, the thing is, like, how are you going to manage it, and what are you looking for on what time frame? Is this the move that you're looking for, and then getting back in because it pulled back, right? It went below the swing in here. Okay, look at the buyers come roaring back in again. Okay, so stop run, not much, and then high liquidity in here. but we're still looking for buyers, okay, to take this higher up into 98 and 4,400, and then some. All right, so let me check here if there's anything else that you guys questions in here. And Rob, I see that you marked up another chart in here. Let's take a look at it. Okay. I would say this is where I was looking at some of your stuff yesterday, Rob, and after the webinar, and it's good to identify. I would like to see you identify and kind of deconstruct the strong moves. All right, so these big impulsive moves in here, I identify the order flow within them. Okay, is it strong? Is it consistent all the way through? What is the angle here? Is it steep? And what about high liquidity? Does it fill? Are there still more buyers above it? Are they bidding up underneath in here? They are down here for sure, right? And then you see the buyers starting to come in here. Okay? And they're gonna lift it, and they're gonna shoot for the high liquidity that is targeted or up here on the offer, right? And this is the context that we want to understand. So break down those big impulse moves and start to understand what's just within the impulse moves. Okay, so maybe I can put a list together for you later, Rob, and that might be good for the Bookmap meeting that Bookmap Academy meeting that's coming up, and we can go through that checklist, right? So and that checklist here, I can give you access, like I said, to this tool in here, and you can import it. And then you can look for these very specific things just within a strong move. This one is for the flag pattern in here, but you can look for one that is based on just a strong move. You just make it up in Excel and import it, and then start to just identify these strong moves. Okay, and then where you think price is going to go based off of these strong moves. You're not trading it, you're just identifying. And then get really good at identifying in here. Already, Rob, this is looking so much better. And I think this will help clarify things for you. Like bidding liquidity being added. This is fantastic. Look, what's the reaction here? Answers a question. What is the reaction to this liquidity? Does it transact? They bid up underneath the swing here. Further up. That's bullish. Are they pulling on the offer? I see them pulling here. Do I see sellers wanting to trade into this liquidity? No, they don't even reach it. Do I see buyers start to come back in? Yes, here and here, right? So this is where you're going to just identify these elements in here. The trading plan is just right behind you on this. I would just suggest get really good at identifying these things in Bookmap, and then continue on. And then you'll see and understand these details in here so much better. And not just the big things like a pullback and high liquidity in here, but the details in it. Okay, and that should help tremendously. All right, good stuff, Rob. Way to go. Good morning, Deborah. Elia, that's what you needed. Okay, yeah, you're welcome. All right, so anyway, guys, like once we can start to understand like and the order flow in here in these strong moves or in these moves, that will really break down, and you'll probably see the market in a very different way. It'll break down your candlesticks. You'll know what's inside this candlestick in here, instead of just shooting from the hip and just saying, well, you know, my stop's down here and my take profits up above there. You know, you'll be looking at something very specific, and getting into the details in here. And these details are important. They're not really details. It's what makes up the market, and it is understanding this behavior in here that will give us the insight. right? So the vision here that we covered earlier is like, yeah, we think it's going higher. Yeah, we think it's going higher on the hourly too. And yeah, we see the retest back up in here as well. Okay, so we think it's going higher, but that's it. We think, but if we look at this, now we can ascertain the buyers are coming in. The buyers are coming in. I know that there's a lot of buyers in here. I know that there was not a very strong pullback in here. It was on stronger volume in here. That's what kind of kept us away from it. Then it looked better up in here. Now that wasn't really the flag pattern, but you can, once you start to understand the momentum, then you can look for these things to unfold, okay, and then put some risk on, and then look for these moves to unfold. Okay, so it's what makes up that pattern is what we're looking for in here. Okay, and now we're lucky today that we're covering momentum and we're getting a momentum move. Right, so this is a good thing. It helps the presentation. If we didn't have it, we'd just drill down into smaller time frames or maybe look at a different market. Anyway, guys, like there's all sorts of ways to break down these moves in here and understand that the strong move, and add all the other confluences as well, stops, icebergs. Look at this massive iceberg in here. Okay, God, what is it? It's like a 3,000 no, it's like a 2,000 contract iceberg. Okay, right in here. Okay, it's actually it starts in here and it finishes in here. Okay, let's turn on the icebergs on chart. Again, this is understanding. Now we're bringing in more details in here, and I'm doing it just for the purpose of the webinar, because the next step is to start to get into the subtleties, confluences, correlations, etc. Once you guys start to identify the main elements in these momentum moves, okay, this context between the price structure, the volume, transactions in here, and then also the liquidity. Okay, when we start, that's the first step. Do that, and that might be enough right there. Okay, but you can get additional insight with add-ons. Right now, these are confluences, and they are not signals. Right? We don't want to use signals in here from add-ons. Okay, we want to get additional insight from other players in these markets. Okay, so for example, large players using icebergs, smaller players getting stopped out in here. And we've seen this for years now. Icebergs, they are buying. Stops, they are selling. They're going in the same direction though. These can lead to really powerful days. They're, basically the icebergs are buying in these areas wherever they can get their contracts filled. Okay? And you can see that they basically waited for a strong move and then slipped an iceberg right up underneath it here. Okay? We've seen this move to the downside so many times. It's a great trick. If I were a larger player, this is what I would do as well to guarantee a fill. Okay, it's for almost 1,100 contracts here. Yeah. So here it is. Here's the data right here. Okay. So how better to kind of guarantee your fill is to maybe sweep the book and put right underneath it your iceberg. You've got the momentum. You've got traders who want to trade it. The mean reversion traders are just getting annihilated. Okay, they're not going to be able to make that market move very high or much. I mean, if they're going to continue to get filled like this on the bid, right? So start to understand that context in here as well, and that'll really help. All right. So as we looked into, I think this was this the move? I can't recall now. I think this move came later. Yeah, this move came later. We were looking at earlier at this one. Yeah, it was this one. Okay. So yeah, I was just wondering because that selling that we saw up here with that large iceberg. On. Geez, now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Here. Book sweep and then icebergs. Oh, that wasn't it. Sorry, guys. Hang on just a second. Here it is. Wasn't this it? Well, it's the same. It's the same idea in here. That's not it either. It's the same concept. I think it was higher, right? Quite a bit higher. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so it was kind of tucked away, and it happened very, very quickly in here. But understanding again what's going on in some of these moves in here, and I thought maybe this selling in here, that strong, consistent buying, steep move, etc. You know, high relative volume in here, and I thought, well, this high relative volume in here by the sell side, you can see it in the bars, you can see it in the dots in here. However, it's buying too. There's a lot of buying in here, a tremendous amount. So this is giving us that confluence and that deeper insight in here, noting that there's an iceberg in here buying, right? And we don't see it in the heat map. Okay, it's not in the heat map. There's very little liquidity in here, 119 contracts, okay, which isn't bad, but it's nothing large in here compared to like over here 217. Okay, so that's where you can start to really add into the details. Now, for example, Slowdown has created here. He's got a new one here as well. But his setup in here, he's added into, let me find it here. He has added into his setup, okay, his spring setup here. He's looking for stop hunts below an area and then a reversal. Outside edge, stop hunt, you know, down in this area here. Actually, I picked one where he's not he's not showing it, but here it is in the image up here, his diagram, right? Stop picked outside edge of consolidation, very specific. Okay, he's looking for that in here. He's looking for an edge, and that is a confluence. Okay, and for his setup, that is an important confluence that he's looking for. Okay, so these things can be added in along the way, but start with the bigger picture, okay, the strong moves, right? Now, as we've been talking, this is just grinded higher, okay? So we just traded into 4,400, right? Now, slipping into this, you know, like I said, I'm not the expert on that one. A lot of times I just can't stand to see these moves slip away like this, and I will give it a shot on a pullback, and then just you know, keep a tight stop, and if I get stopped out, try it again, right? I'm still kind of building my plan in here. It was something that Linda Raschke years ago like had said that really piqued my attention and interest was, she said on these kinds of moves like this, she said she just gets in. She's just looking for continuation, and you will just, you know, if you're waiting for that pullback, you just might not get it, and you can capture so much if you just get in. Now, how do you deal with the risk management? That's something to I kind of struggle with. You know, maybe just keep a tight stop and look for these. Try to get your best pullback on a swing and just look for that continuation. All right. It's something we'll address. We'll come up with something maybe in the learning center as a continuation move in here, as another pattern to put in here, right? Anyway, that's you know, someone has a checklist that they do for their setup and capturing these kinds of moves in here, and you can see that this is still going, right? In fact, they just pulled this block of liquidity in here. This kind of reminds me too, like I don't know, Moby's not in here. He presented actually earlier today. He's in Western Australia, and he is trading the London session, and he is one of the things in that London session, that or overnight session, extended trading hour session, whatever you want to call it, an Asian session, is you just get these grinds like this, and there's no one interested in pulling it back, right? That's why these moves can be so good on the overnight. No one's taking the counter trend trade. They're just letting it grind higher. And that fits into these ideas that we talked about on the higher time frame after really bullish order flow and transactions after a fundamental news event. You can hold for the overnights and just let it grind higher for you all night long. All right, so be picky about it. Look for very specific things, but these can be just massive winners. Right? These are just concepts. Again, you'll have to go back and study. Okay, but these are more swing trading ideas. It's an order flow move in essence. It's just a much higher time frame. All right. All right. Let's see. You slow down. You found it. Linda Rashke, 10 or 12 technical rules in here. Afternoon strength or weakness should have follow through the next day. There you go. That's one of them right there. Thanks for finding this. This is great. Yeah, there's so much to take away from here. There's so much. I mean, like there's so many ideas and concepts just in a few of these that I'm reading right now. Yeah, so buy the first pullback after a new high. Sell the first rally after a new low. Okay, now that's, again, the same things that we're going over. These are, she says, technical rules. This can be really dangerous in here. Really dangerous, because most traders will read this and go, oh, I'm just going to do what Linda, she's a pro. You know, I'm going to do what she does. I'm going to buy the first pullback after a new high. And then you get clobbered. Okay, you didn't back test it. You don't know. You're taking the advice of a trader. Okay, she's a professional. She has decades of experience, institutional experience. But that's not what you want to like hang your hat on. That's not what you want to trust. You want to trust your own back testing. So this list here, okay, it's in Discord, and slow down in the All Markets chat room. Just posted it. Take a look. But these are just concepts and ideas for your trading. It is just the first stepping stone. Then you need to study it. Yeah, thanks, Slowdown. That's excellent. All right. All right, guys, we'll look at this here now. We've traded up into and through, but not by much, 4,400. Okay, it's 11 o'clock East Coast time. We traded into high liquidity in these areas in here. We are anticipating pullbacks at certain points. This is not a bad idea for a pullback, right? And a strong one potentially. Maybe back down to the high volume node here, maybe back down below the swing and knock a whole bunch of traders out that have been holding and holding and holding and holding, right? Thinking that, wow, this is great. I'm just going to kick back and, you know, let this work for me. And then they get stopped out and give it all back. Okay. So how do you want to handle these things in here? Okay. Are you still looking for it to go higher? What's this move in here tell us? Relative volume in here. How strong is it? Well, it still looks like a pullback to me. I mean, there's stronger sell volume in here in the dots, but this is much stronger in here. Okay. However, it was absorbed all the way back up here, as you can see. Hit these areas of high liquidity, pulled back, hit it again, pulled back, and it failed to hit it up here at 02. Okay, and now we're seeing a bigger pullback. Right, so what are we looking for in here? All right, well, all right, we're looking for maybe a move back down to this swing here, trapped sellers, and then look for buyers to kind of swing back into the trade. Okay, so in here though, the one thing I would be looking for on this move in here is I'm looking for trap sellers. I would not get involved in and that's just me. At the highs up in here, I need to have sellers that are trapped so that I can get that move to the upside. I'm not just counting on the buyers to come in now. This is a pullback, a bigger pullback move in here, and I got to see where the trap sellers are. And this is another thing we can identify those. Where are they? Where are they located? This is a very simple thing to note. Well, there's sellers in here. Okay, well, now there's buyers back up above it. In fact, okay, there's also sellers in here, in here in these pockets. Okay, so we might get buying momentum actually right now to trade back up into here, okay, and put these sellers to the test in here. Okay, so I don't know. I don't see a whole lot of selling back down here, and that's really what I want to see, to be honest. But the concept is this. Get the buyers back up above these sellers and get the stop run up into these areas up in here. Okay, from where we targeted here at 04, I'm sorry, 4,400 and a half, and then higher. All right, let's see here. Jack, welcome back. Excellent. Nice to see you in here. All right, and hold on a minute here. Let me get to some of these questions in here. The fox is in the house. Exactly. Okay, I think we're caught up over there. Let's see, are we caught up in Discord? Yeah, I think we're good. All right. So anyway, that's some of the things here to consider. Let me actually take stops off of here right now. Stops and icebergs off the chart. Yeah. Because I do want to cover again, like the market pulse tools in here. Okay, we've been digging deeper into them and finding edges in here using this market pulse tool. Okay, that's really the key of any tool. How does it help us? Okay, so we've gone over stops and icebergs for a long time. We know that they help us as a confluence. Now let's look at this market pulse tool, because there's a lot of opportunity in here with this tool. Okay, I do have the support and resistance. I think we're going to call it pull stack in here. So looking at the order book, and we're looking for imbalances in here. And there's little details that this one here can pick up, which is really nice. Look at how this is showing us here that even though we see high liquidity here at 96.5, we see more adding on the offer and then pulling on the bid. Okay, so that's really kind of odd, right? So there's it's making a different calculation in here. And there's subtleties that we don't quite maybe see in the heat map. When we really zoom in here, we will see them. It's all here. It is captured. It's just when you zoom out, you might miss some of it because we have to aggregate it and do some other things in here. So what we're looking for down here is a flip of the book in here. So I'm not surprised that we saw a skew in the order book, and we just traded in 96 and a half. Okay, so great. Now we're looking for that book to flip, and we're looking for these buyers to come in. And let's see if now we can get these as the sellers in here that are trapped. Okay, and what that looks like is we look for this book to flip and be more buyers on the bid and sellers pulling here. And then we're also looking for our big green dots up here. We're looking for these buyers to curl back into this trade here. And we're looking for that book flip with liquidity underneath, pulling on the offer in here. Our buyers being able to lift it back up and then retest back up in these areas here. Okay. And there's our flip in the book. Okay. Not quite enough buy volume yet. So still looking for that. There they go. It's not a whole lot either. Okay. We do have the trap sellers though. Okay, so let's get a little bit more buying. See them pulling here. That's good. All right, buyers, lift it right on up into 99 and a half. Looking for that. Okay, we don't get that immediately, but they're still in the book here at 97. Okay, that's good. Book's flipping a little bit. We might get one more retest back down here. That will let these sellers that are trapped, it will let them out. Okay, but we're not looking for that. We're looking for the buyers to come in again here. Yep, looking for them, and then now lift up into 4,400. Let's clear our drawings. Book looks good. Buyers and the move. This will be the first stop here, but I really like, yeah, the figure in 02, basically. Yeah, absolutely. The book flips in the subchart here. Sorry, I didn't turn that on for the market pulse in here. This is where you can see, like, this is the extreme reading, and here is the 70% little white line in here. Okay. Come on, buyers looking for it again. We have another retest in here. It's still looking good on that buy side, and then looking for we are trading up here, so just looking for a little bit more and then to bust up into 44. Yeah, CVD also is not capturing the book, but is capturing the aggressors, right, on the cumulative. So you can add that in here, and let's take a look. So the cumulative, we're not really seeing all that much buying in here right now. Okay, we're looking for that buying to pick up down here. We see the selling, this selling here, and this drop in here. Well, why didn't price drop a whole lot? Because it was absorbed. Okay, now here we go. Here's our buyers we're looking for again, and again they fail to show up here. Okay, but still looking for them. We're just going back and forth. And here it is auctioning up here at 98 and a quarter, looking for a bit more, and then the break. So the cumulative volume delta is really not showing us much in here at all, except for this in here, which was absorbed. Okay. Yeah, I just don't see much in here at all. Okay, buyers, come on. You've got it. You've got it set up in here. Just need to see the move higher. Okay, here's one more retest up in here. It's got to be, it's inevitable here. We just need some big buying in here. And if a larger seller just stays out of this in here, the buyers have this. We should be able to move it on up. All right, it's starting to accumulate in here, up at this top edge in here. So we're looking for them just to break it. Struggling. Not still auctioning a little bit up here. It's really not that great though. Okay, one more. Now we're also anticipating a stop run up into about 4,400. So it should be a pretty quick move. Or maybe O2 here as well. Also, let me cover this in here. Why, yeah, we're looking for this to unfold, and now we see our big seller come in and just hit the bid hard here, right? And we know that this can happen. If they don't come in, it should be going higher, right? Now who's trapped? The buyers are trapped. This guy, or whoever hit the bid hard in here, is gonna, the stop run is gonna be to the downside now. Okay, but then again, we're again looking for the stop run to unfold, and then we'll see if we get more buying activity back in here again, because it did auction up here. We're looking for a retest back to that auction and then the continuation, right? So this is just one of those moves to the bottom of the range in here, knock people out, get people shaken out, and then gives a good position here for other players down at this area to trade it right back up to here. Okay, and then continue at that point. Okay, looking good. And let's see it, buyers. This is where it really gets tricky with trading. And in terms of psychology, we can avoid this here in psychology, because we're looking for this to unfold. It didn't look all that great. We wanted the bigger buying in here, so we would have missed it. We're looking for it to unfold, but we would have missed it. It just didn't look all that great. And we wanted to see these kinds of big red dots. We wanted to see those as being green up here. We did identify the sellers in the trap. Okay, so we had that on our side, and we still have them on our side in here. Okay, now we especially have them on our side if we can get back up above here. And then one of the things that I wanted to cover in here about this move, yeah, we were looking for it to unfold, no question. What we were looking for though, or I'm sorry, what I wanted to mention here is why I covered this pattern in here first, with this flag continuation pattern in here. And this is really important. Rob, it's also something I hope that this is helpful for you, is we are leaning on the previous moves in here. We're looking for those previous moves to and understanding the order flow in here to back us. Okay, they've got our back. That's what we're looking for in here. So we're looking for a shallow pullback in here. So here, let me get to, yeah. All right, so in here, like the strong move, shallow pullback, bidding up into these areas in here. high liquidity got filled up in here, bidding up in here, and then looking for the these guys to curl back in, the strong move again for that second impulse move, right? But what we're doing is leaning on all of this previously, okay? That helps. Here, we're not leaning on much, right? We're just kind of identifying, yeah, you know, we've got some trap traders. We have the potential for that move. It is better to wait and lean on the behavior of others to give you that more consistent move that you're anticipating and looking for. Okay? It's like the wind at your back. I like to liken it to the a team, a sports team. Okay, there's probably a million analogies you can come up with, but just think of these as players on your team. Okay, like in here, yeah, this is good, strong move. We want to lean on those players. We're looking for a pullback in here, and then we're looking for a lot of buyers to come back in. Is this pullback on low volume? Well, it is compared to this move, right? Then we're, you know, we want these elements within our setup here to help us. That's why we're looking at them. These are like, again, like players on our team. When we have these players on our team, it is more likely to unfold, okay, in our direction. Just think about if you're on a basketball team and you get a good player who joins you're playing a pickup game someplace at the local playground. Yeah, you're doing all right, but a new guy comes on the team, and he's a great player. Well, now you can lean on him, right? And you're more likely to win now. You get another guy like that, and you're even more likely to win, right? So that's what we're doing in here with the setup, is leaning on previous order flow in here. And this in here is not a whole lot to lean on, right? We're still looking for the move, and we're identifying trap volume, etc., and going through that example in here. It's not a whole lot to lean on. All right, so in fact, yeah, we came all the way back down and have not traded below this swing here, but this is where that bigger impulsive move kind of, well, it really started. I guess you could say it started here, but we really see it pick up here. Okay, now we've gone below that area a few times now. All right, so let's take a look at this now. So we do have still this impulse move here, which is strong. We have a very convoluted pullback in here, but now look at this. Here's our sellers. Now we're looking again for that same idea in here. We're looking for our big green dot in here, looking for them to bid up in the book here. They are. Okay, these sellers can be trapped in here, right? So now, do we see that large volume dot in here is the question. And not yet. Okay, the book is looking better and better in here. Look at this, bidding up underneath like this. They also are offering lower in here, but this is looking pretty strong in here. Okay, so we want to see now these big buyers come in here. Okay, we do have some trap volume in here. It's even better than before. Okay, so we're actually kind of hacking the setup in here and looking for these elements in here, identifying the trap traders and developing scenarios, right? So the scenario actually looks pretty good in here. It's a different setup, right? Completely. But what we're looking for is trap traders, and we're looking for buying momentum to initiate the move and break out. We don't have the first impulse move and then a pullback. We're trying to gauge, which is much harder. We're trying to gauge the first impulse move. Okay? And it's not really too clear right now, but we're looking for that setup. Okay, this is more like a breakout trade. Okay, here we go. Here's some liquidity here. Do we get our big buyers? Starting to. All right, buyers, let's see you lift it now. Now, here's the trick, though. Is this worth putting money on? No, I think it looks pretty good. However, this is what you need to do is you need to go back and study and find out this setup in here for yourself. Okay. And then how often does it work out? How do you manage your risk? What is the best way to manage your risk? Where do you take some off? Right? Because these can be tricky in here on that first impulse move and that breakout. Okay? Taking some off is a good idea on those. Okay? Top, tight stops is a good idea on some of those. Kenji, good morning. You also think of the participants as team members. Yeah, but instead of quarterback and defense or goalies, you think of them in terms of my moving average guys. There's the trend line guys and the order flow guys. Yeah, exactly. Well, that you want them on your side. That's really the key. And then you get them on your side, and it is so much more likely to work out. Yeah. So see how you're kind of taking pot shots at this in here, and it is not worth getting stubborn in here. Like, take the small stop. Right, we're looking for it in here. Tight stop, you're stopped out. Right, you had certain things that you're looking for in here, and we're looking for it to these buyers to start to move it. Okay, didn't work out. Okay, now look at it again in here. Okay, again, it's still setting up, still possible. We have all of this selling in here that is still in it and waiting to get stopped out. Okay, again, I would be looking again in here. Okay, buyers, order book, and let's see it, buyers. Yeah, I don't think it's worth putting risk on, unless I see that big green dot in here. It's auctioning. There we go. Let's see it. Okay. All right. I see some sellers in here as well. I like this even more now. All right. So I'm looking for the green dot up here at around 97. Okay. There it is. Let's see it, buyers. Looking for the move now up to 4,400. So it's 3 points. Okay. Stop would be down here. Now, again, this is not a trade recommendation. Okay. Tight stop, because I don't know yet. I'm kind of shooting in the dark a little bit in here. I've only identified the consolidation and the potential trap here. That's it. Right. So it's not a whole lot to lean on. Right. That's why I brought up this whole conversation about leaning on stuff. And now I'm looking for these guys to initiate that powerful move to the upside. Good morning, HE. Do you miss any order flow events? Well, yeah, we were talking about momentum, identifying strong moves in here, and then how to manage some of those like grinding moves in here and getting in and managing your risk. We really talked about kind of breaking down these bigger moves in here and understanding some of the subtler details in the order flow in these strong impulse moves. Okay, and what we're looking for. And that's really been the heart of this webinar, and going through this, and identifying. It was with Rob. We're identifying these kinds of details in here. Look at this exhaustion here, for example. Trading into, they're pulling in here after trading into a bit, and you see more buyers in here looking for the next level and next level of liquidity. Again, exhaustion in here. Buyers start to curl back in again. I mean, there's so many kind of subtle details that we've covered in here for a long time. And then I'm suggesting to just keep it really simple and just look for these moves in here and identifying those elements. Okay? And that's part of the Bookmap Academy as well. So if you guys are interested in that, this is we're having a meeting next, or I'm sorry, on this Thursday, okay, at the market close, and we'll go over and do some trade reviews, etc. And let me show you where it is. It's this page here. I'll put it into the chat for you. And if you're interested, you can join the Academy and come to the meeting. It's read through it in here, what you get and what we're willing to give you. We can actually, we're willing to give you Global Plus for free if you make your quotas and journalize your content in specific ways. Quality content and make a certain quota, right? So and if you can do that, then we're willing to help you and give you Bookmap. All right, now let's take a look at this. We're looking for that really strong move in here, right? Well, we didn't get it, right? Everything's kind of really just kind of slowed down in here, and moving kind of like molasses in here. We do see the buying in here and the buying interest, but all they did was bring it back up to this swing here. So again, we're still looking for the potential here. There's our trap sellers looking for buyers back up above it and the continuation of the move, right? Okay, so let's suppose we were mentioning about getting involved in here someplace, right? Maybe here would be the place, and your stop would be here. You'd still be in this. Okay, and this is looking even better now, right? Still looking for those buyers to take it up to 44 and then 02. Right? It's just not really that great though. We're still looking for it, but like I said, these are a little harder to lean on because we don't have as many pieces here to lean on. We just have this basically we can look at absorption, exhaustion, and we can look at the traps in here, and we can start to target other sides of the range in here. All right, so anyway, if you guys are interested in that, oh, there's another tool in here, HE, that I have it here. Shoot. Another tool that we can give to you guys from the Academy, and in fact, you can even import what it is you want in here. Oops, let me try that again. That should be it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so and this is your setups list in here. You can grade your trade and look for it to work out or not, right? This is an idea to look for that flag pattern, for example. Okay, identifying trapped traders and developing scenarios. Now, what we were looking for in here was, again, that we're looking for that first impulse move, which we never got. And all it's done is chopped around in here. We're looking for this steep, and we're trying to capture the steep large price move. The only thing we had on our side was this. Okay, so this is why, like, the flag pattern, and that's why we covered it for the first strategy in the Learning Center, is we want these all on our side. If we can get 4 different points here on our side, it is much more likely to continue. That's why we can look at entry in here, and those buyers start to curl back in above the sellers and then move higher, right? Instead of being caught in here in the this chop back and forth. Okay, again, same things are happening again though. I mean, you can see it, right? Here's our trap. Here's our trap. Did we get the buyers up in here though? Not really. It exhausted here for sure. Okay, looking good though. Buyers coming in yet again, still looking for a move back up to the top of the range. Okay, you can even trade it to the top of the range in here. We've talked about that many times. Once they start to come back in, look for the top of the range, take some off, look for the continuation. Okay, so still looking pretty good. The same setup has happened multiple times over. We talked about it over in here. This was that larger player who came in and moved that market. Still looking for it. Still looking for it. And then this looks pretty good in here as well after this move down and buyers back up above it, looking for it. And it's just been choppy, right? So we're trying to catch something that's kind of difficult. This is where you know, we'll come up with a range bound strategy. That's my next one in here, in the order flow. Traps is going to be a big part of it as well. Look for those traps in a range, right? And then look for those buyers to curl back in. It's going to be kind of similar, and all of them are going to be kind of similar. We'll just have different pieces to look for over here to look for that range bound trade. Okay, so Slowdown has a great one. He's looking for these Wyckoff springs, basically this here, for these buyers to curl back in, and he's looking for taking it to the top of the range and taking some off. But it is the move below the swing in here that he's looking for, and he's looking for that trap or that stop run here. Okay, so you can see that this is working out. I'm still looking for them to break it here. 99, 4400, 02, 01, 02. Now we can also look at, if this does start to pan out, we can look for some measured moves in here. And so we'd be looking for something like this. Okay, 01 looks pretty good then, right? This is a great, this actually here is one of the things I do want to cover in upcoming strategies. Is see how we're still in the this is starting to work out pretty nicely here. Still looking for it to work out. I know I see the book flip in here, and but I'm still looking for the buyers to finally just take this, sellers to get out of the way. There we go. There's a book flip in there. Let's see it, buyers, and put back on up. No, one of the nice things in here is once you start to identify in a range, one of the things I'll cover it in a strategy, like I said, is the dip below. This is inside the range in here. Let me just quickly cover this here. Okay, one of the things to look for is you have a range here, right? A pretty big range. Let's just go to here. You have another one in here. It made these kinds of, there's a swing here, right? A few times. You went below, we see that we went below the swing, and we have high liquidity down below that swing as well. And we see the transactions take place here. Okay, but the bigger range is still here. So all it did was is go below this swing in here, and we're looking for those buyers to come in. Okay, they come in here, and then we're looking for the move back up to here and then the potential breakout. Okay, so top of the range at that point, right? Because this little move here rejected below here, and we see the buyers start to come back in, right? So this is essentially a stop run on a smaller range here, okay, within the bigger range. And then we're looking for that continuation. All right, so it's a detail in here, but it's a good one. And we're looking for the buyers start to come in, and then top of the range, and then continuation. All right, does that make sense? Right, so this took a long while to play out. We're up at 4,400. I'm still looking for it to continue. Our measured move would be up into about 4,401. Okay, so still looking for it to continue here. All right, now again in here, this was not a whole lot to lean on in here. We kept on trying to lean on something in here. Okay, so there's something to take away from that. And there's our 4,401, and that would be my partial take profit, or maybe I would take full. I would have to take a look at the order flow at this time. Okay, yeah, I still think it's worth holding and looking for higher here. We've got all of these sellers in here. We've done the measured move, but we still have a lot of selling in here. That is, we're looking for that stop run, and then we're just starting to get. Okay, I'm looking for a bigger one back up above 02 basically. All right, and we're going with the trend continuation here. All right, so 05, 10, we said 16 and 28 or something like that, right? Let's see. Yeah, here's 16 up here. Oh, I'm sorry. I know it came up. Oh, okay, 14, and then up in here is 28, 29. Yeah, this swing up here. So something like that. Right, continuation still unfolding here. Look at the strong move in here over several days. Slight pullback, looking for continuation, and it's happening on all time frames now. Right. All right, guys. Well, let's see here. Let's wrap up, and you can, if you want to come to the Bookmap Academy meeting, then yeah, you might want to sign up for the Academy, and also you can request to get this new tool in here for the checklist, okay, which I think you might find helpful. All right, we'll continue to go over it more and more as we develop more and more of these strategies in here. All right. All right, let me see. I think I've gotten through all the questions in here. Sweeps and absorption. Yeah, I can go through that, TK. I'm sorry, I did not. I have in the past. I spent a lot more time on momentum in here. And then actually, I think kind of wasted a lot of time in here on this, looking for an impulse move, which we finally got, right? But anyway, the crux of the webinar in here is, and the main thrust of it is understanding impulse moves, strong moves, what's behind them, and identifying the details in here, because this will serve us well for a long time to come. Okay. Always identify, like, who's in control of the market and the subtleties within it here in the order flow. No stops and icebergs on Tesla, on Schul, because the stocks market does not open, offer market by order data. Okay. All right, guys, that wraps it up. We'll meet on Thursday at the market close, and then I'll see you on Friday for the webinar at the same time here. Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. If you like this, please hit the like button, and we'll continue on with more education the next time. Okay, thanks for coming, and we'll see you on Thursday or on Friday. Okay, bye.